Hoorah. I'm gonna tell y'all one of the biggest hoaxes out there. When y'all hear this, y'all gonna be like, yeah, wow, this is a major hoax that's taking place. But before I get into that, let me give a proper introduction how we do it at the Aum Institut. It's all about the supreme holiness of the female, rooted in the sacred truth of her sexuality. She holy. I am the sexpert, Dr. Minister Vermont Prince for the Aum Institut, Church of Christ Consciousness for worldwide hope. Y'all know me for teaching and speaking mostly or solely on advanced metaphysics. And that's what I'm about. This is going to be a little different. This is going to be me breaking down, because I feel like I'm going to reveal or expose a hoax. One of the biggest hoaxes. I feel like this is necessary. And the simple reason why it's necessary is because people can't properly achieve what they're trying to achieve when you have people saturating a genre or a way of life, and it's being commercialized. And if you have 10 people doing it and 10,000 people come and do it wrong, the people that's doing it right might start getting dissuaded to think that the wrong way is the right way. So I'm going to bring this to attention. One of the biggest hoaxes out there is divine timing. In case you guys don't know what that is, divine timing is, okay, the theory of divine timing goes as follows: that everything, that there is a finish line, a major goal, a, salvation, getting to whatever it is. It's not heaven, that's religious. But that there's some major thing that you're going to accomplish at the end of it all. Or your life meaning or purpose. And that there's a path that leads you there. One single path that leads you there. And on this path, there are a bunch of obstacles and, different happenings. And that you have to go through all these things in order for you to reach that which you are trying to achieve. I don't mean immediately. I mean at the end of it all. Like a person be like, oh, I had to go through all of that in my life in order to get to where I'm at. Boom. And then ultimately you keep going through whatever you go to reach the end of your goal. You know what I'm saying? You reach your goal, I should say. Okay. That's a great hoax that's going on. There are infinite number of paths. And according to your choices, your actions, your reactions, your effort is going to determine which path you end up on. You don't stay on one path. You jump from path to path every millisecond by every choice you make. You see that pause I just did? That put me on a whole nother path than when I started this live. Because there are an infinite number of paths where I'm doing the same live. And one of those paths, I didn't pause. I just kept talking. And another path, I paused even longer. And one path, I paused a little bit less. So forth and so on. And one path, I didn't even start the live yet. There's infinite, hey, how are you? Good to see you. There are infinite number of paths. And according to that which we do, think, we think, feel, and do, it manifests. TAB, T-A-B, thought, attitude, behavior. It manifests or puts us on a specific path. So you could be here now, another path, another millisecond, another path, another path, another path. The reason why I say divine timing is a hoax is because people use that as an excuse to say, well, this was meant to happen to me, that's why it happened. And it seems harmless enough, but it's really not harmless. You know why it's not harmless? It's not harmless for the simple fact it gives people an out. It gives people the ability to make an excuse for why things are not happening for them. My thing is, that thing that happened doesn't happen on every single path. So had you made a different choice, it would have set you on a different path. Remember, every millisecond of choices leads to a path. So let's just say I do something right now, a millisecond, boom, I'm on another path, but that path still has something on it. Boom, I do something else, another path. Eventually, I'm going to get off that path that's going to have whatever's in front of me. But it's all about thought, attitude, behavior. When I say attitude, I'm really talking about like how you feel. That what you're projecting. In other words, if I feel very, very lazy, I'm probably going to behave very, very lazy. So I'm going to move a little slower. And because I move a little slower, I may miss an opportunity. That's what I'm saying, ultimately. We're talking about metaphysics and physics. What I'm saying is, and this is real important, people, the people that you refer to as the conscious community, these woke people, are really just a bunch of individuals that are regurgitating information that they heard from other people. That's why they all sound the same. They all say the word, it's a big ass cult. They say journey, my journey, you know, my purpose, living in my truth. Those are the words they like to use. Consciousness, woke, what's the other words? My higher self, the best version of myself, what resonates with me. Resonates, they love that word. Transition, divine, sacred. They love those words. And they all use them. Now, my thing is, if you're on your personal path, then why are you using the same words that everybody else is using? Why, if you're in such an individual path like you pretending, then why don't you have your own set of words? I'm not saying you can't use any words people use, but it's not no coincidence they use the exact same words. That doesn't sound like an individual path to me. That sounds like a big-ass fucking cult. And people think because they don't know who the leader is, that means that the leader is the people that y'all looking up to. But that's not, it didn't even here nor there. Let's get back to the hoax. The hoax is that people want you to believe that you can't do anything about what's going on in your life. That these things are supposed to happen. And a lot this philosophy is perpetuated by a lot of people that are very lazy, very unmotivated, very closed-minded, and just don't want to be responsible for their own actions and for the consequences of the reactions of those things. That's what it is. So they make it an excuse. They can be like, well, I'm homeless living on the street. Oh, well, that was all part of my journey. No, that was part of the badass choices that you made. That was a part of the journey on the path that you put yourself on by the choices you made. You could have made a different choice. Now, people say, well, what could I have done? If somebody liked to burn my building down, or if someone, that's not my fault. We talking about things that you personally could have corrected in your own life. I'm not talking about what nobody else could have did. I'm talking about you. If you had a job interview, you got there late, that was on you. If you were supposed to go out and hustle and make a certain amount of money, you ain't go and you ain't get that money, that's on you. But people, what they'll do is they're rationalizing and say stuff like, well, it wasn't meant for me to have. You put yourself on a path to not have that. There's a path where that was meant for you to have, and you could have had that. You just didn't put yourself on that path. If you're smoking cigarettes, you're putting yourself on a path. You might not get cancer, but you're putting yourself on a path where that's a potentiality. So my thing is, let's stop using excuses as to why we're not achieving certain things or certain things are not happening. Let's be more proactive. Thing is, people that deal with metaphysics, they want to believe in magic. When I'm talking about magic, I'm talking about illusion, like, you know, reach in a hat and pull a rabbit out. They want to take a curtain or a cloth, put it over a person, move the curtain, and the person gone. Move the cloth and they're gone. They want to do, that's illusion. That's not magic. Magic is a formula that you use to get from point A to point B. It's a formula. Like when you're making food, you turn the fire on, you put the water, you put the food, chop it up, you got to put it on a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. That's a formula. That's magic. Magic doesn't mean illusion. Illusion means that it didn't really happen. I pretended like it happened. And that's what people are doing. You're pretending like it's okay that you didn't pay your bills and you're homeless now. You're pretending like it's okay that you have throat cancer because you did X, Y, Z. You pretending that it's okay that you behave like this and you disgruntled your whole life. And that's what they want people to believe, that they're okay with that. And they have to get people to believe they're okay because they don't want to walk around miserable. That's a specific group of people. A lot of people that's dealing with this so-called consciousness likes to ride. I call it the New Age hippie. Like they have New Age philosophy, New Age hippie. That's all it is. You want to just sit here and pretend like everything's all right when it really is not all right. That's what I'm talking about, people. So I just want to bring that to awareness because people got to really have to really get out of that. Just because I teach metaphysics, it doesn't mean that I don't have to manifest anything for real. If you're practicing true metaphysics, you should be manifesting stuff for real. Not in theory, like, you know, a lot of people like to do. And if you've been dealing with something for a specific number of a period of time, it has to be some degree of progression. And also, I want to bring awareness to the people that like to flip-flop. That's a whole nother video. There's a lot of people that like to practice flip-flop consciousness. They're here, they conscious, they not conscious. 1 minute they are this. I'm not talking about like hypocrites, so-called hypocrites. I'm talking about the people that you don't eat meat, then for 2 years you do eat, then you go back to not eating it. There's no reason for why you went back to eating it. Because meat more expensive than other shit. So it was no excuse for you to go back to eating that other than you missed that taste. People say, oh, I got sick for a little while. Eating meat don't make you healthy. So it's a certain thing that people do that has nothing to do with progression. It's actually degression. But you do it because you find yourself weak and you're not really committed. You're just practicing a behavior. It's a style, it's a fad. And when the fad kind of wears off or the excitement of the fad wears off, you're back to doing regular Jane, John Doe stuff. So I just want to bring that to people awareness. Don't get sucked in by these New Age hippies with this divine timing nonsense that no matter what you do, things are going to work out like this. Because that's nonsense. There's a zillion ways that things can work out. It all depends on your choices and how you move. And it also has a lot to do with your intention. That's the other word, intention. It has to do with that which you project. See, that's my word. It's not my word, but it's a different word. That which you project. In other words, if I want to go out and collect bottles and cans and make $100, I want to do that. I mean, really want to. I don't mean I'm going to do it because I need to. I mean, I'm just amped up about doing it. I'm really like looking forward to it. That's going to help me put me on a path that's going to allow me to find more bottles and cans. And maybe some money that has nothing to do with bottles and cans. But when I'm like, I don't really want to do this. I hate this. This is the worst thing in the world. I'm being forced to do it. Then it's going to put you on a different path. And on that path, depends on the other things that you've done. You may find that you find things, those bottles and cans, or not. It all depends. So I just really want us people to get to the point where we can stop looking for illusions and start using formulas. Stop chasing behind these New Age hippies, because most of them are just young people that don't know their ass from their elbow because they don't even have any real life experience. They saying this now. 15 years from now, I guarantee you, half of them won't even be doing the things they're doing now. Half of them won't even be thinking the way they're thinking now. Half of them won't even be into the things they're into now. Let a few of them have some babies, or a few of them go to prison or do something like have an experience, and I guarantee you their whole life will be different. So they're talking because they're still living sheltered and protected, and they don't really have to face the harsh realities of this world. And then some people are just older people that really just don't care. They gave up on life, so they just like, hey, I'm just going to live this way. I don't care. I'm not telling anybody to amalgamate to the system. Nah, definitely not telling them that. Never me. I'm just saying that whatever you're doing in life, Stop being a bum and being lazy and being a loser about it. Get off your ass and go do it. You know, stop sitting back and thinking that magical illusion is supposed to happen, because illusion is not real. When they put the curtain over the thing, the floor opened up and the person went down, and it closed back up, and they moved the curtain. The person was gone. The person ain't gone. They just somewhere else. They right there. You just don't see them because you're being tricked. So that's pretty much what I'm saying, and I'm bringing this live to a closure. Thank y'all for listening. Rahul.